I just had this amazing moment with you. We're doing this every morning. Why am I still going to this? I'm not saying this for everyone because I don't know who has a newborn baby, who has a third shift job. I'm not saying this is the way it has to be done. I'm saying that making God your priority will absolutely change everything. And saying he's a priority and really showing it with action is two totally different things. So once I made that decision, and now that it's incorporated as a just a normal daily thing, it has completely changed my life. And I can't believe that before I looked at something, and I think I mentioned this in one of the podcasts, I looked at something and said, I don't believe there's ever freedom from this. This is one of those things where it might have been Paul's thorn. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, but this is one of those things that you just can never, ever be 100% free from. I believe that with all my heart. I did. Living now, I'm still in disbelief that I'm free from it. Mm-hmm. Like, I know I am, but I'm still just like, wow, I can't believe from there to here. And that helps me to look at these things now and go, I can't believe I'm actually looking at it and like, that's disgusting. And that is not who I am now. Mm-hmm. And it's because I'm finding my identity in Christ over all those years. And he's like, that's not the guy I designed you to be. You made that guy. Mm-hmm. And you were never going to be satisfied being that guy. Once you said, hey, it's all about you, I'm going to show you who I intended you to be. Once I do that, you're going to see the things in your nature are different than what you were trying to create. And you're actually going to be able to look at it and go, that's not me anymore. I don't want that anymore. So that was the pivotal moment for me. And accountability was, there's a couple of things you just feel like you can't do it without, and accountability was huge as well.
Hey guys, if this conversation is impacting you or a guy around you and you want to partner with us in our mission to change a culture one man at a time, you can go to menifiron.org/donate. Again, that's menifiron.org/donate. Let's get back to the conversation. I mean, what did that look like? That 8 a.m. time with the Lord. I mean, so did you? Describe the journey.
Yeah. So absolutely, God did not take it away that day, and there was years of going back. Oh, you make it 30 days. Oh, you make it 90 days. Oh, you make it 4 days. And there was that cycle of shame. Like, wait a second, I just had this amazing moment with you. We're doing this every morning. Why am I still going to this? And I truly believe it's if I go to the gym today, I'm not going to bench 300 pounds. I'll probably never bench 300 pounds, but something more realistic is like, it takes time. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be an immediate fix. And I think that a lot of it is that journey is so crucial. Learning different spiritual disciplines, solitude and meditation and different things, prayer and reading your Bible. Like, it was like God saying, hey, look, I'm not taking this away from you. But the same way it took you this long to get here, it's going to take you a little while to climb out of it. But we're going to do this together, and there is hope. So I can honestly say that it was years before I was free from that. Mm-hmm. And that was frustrating because, like, I heard when you said about the shame, it's like, wait a second. I just had this amazing experience. I'm having these daily, but yet I'm living a double life. Mm-hmm. And I believe that it was just part of the process of, some of it could be accepting God's grace, which I am sort of an extremist. Like, I am not the guy that wants to be like, well, I can do this because God's going to forgive me. So I go way over to the other side and go, I don't get any grace. I don't deserve any grace. Mm-hmm. If I do this one more time, that's it. I'm done. And there's a middle ground in there somewhere. And my heart was, I wanted to be free from that and other things. But the truth was, it was just going to take some time to journey with God and get free from that. And, part of it is like, if I'm sitting with another guy who's telling me, man, I feel in prison and I feel like there's nothing I could do and I feel like a fake and I feel like a fraud, I could go, I get it. Mm-hmm. I get it. Like, I went through years of that. if I can't say that to somebody, they might go, you have no idea what I'm dealing with, so you can't help me. So as much as I hate that part of my life, I love what I can do for other men now because of it. So, now, so let me be really clear. I don't walk around every single day like that is just never a thought in my mind ever. I'm careful about what kind of TV I watch. I filters on my computer, and I still have accountability. Like, just check in every once in a while. If I have a day where I'm like, oh boy, where's this coming from? I saw something triggered. I'll tell my accountability partner. I said, hey, look, totally fine, but just wanted to let you know about this. But I want to give hope in another part of a story. So this just draws, and I got to be transparent, and I hope this helps somebody. But so you talk about the process, right? And I think about, okay, I made it to this level, to this level, to this level. I'm doing better, I'm doing better, I'm doing better. But there would be like a couple of things I'd be like, can't escape that one. I'm screwed if this happens. And one of those things was, no matter how good I was doing, a dream at night. You know what kind of dream I'm talking about. And you wake up, and I was perfectly okay at a certain point of going, not my fault, God. I had no control over that, so obviously today I'm screwing up. Because there's no way I'm living with this feeling all day, because it's going to torture me all day until I give into it. Now, literally I could almost cry over it, because probably as of 2 weeks ago, I had one of those dreams, and I woke up, and it was so different. There was not a thought of, I need to. It was like, wow, that didn't really, I'm going downstairs to go spend time with God. It's over. That thought is out. God, recognize it, but it's over. It doesn't hang with me through the entire day. And I think that was probably the feeling of, if you're at a point where something can trigger you and you feel tortured. I mean, there was a point where when being with someone, I'd be like, no, you don't understand. I need sex. Like, something's going to happen to me if I don't get it. You don't understand. I need it. And now I go, oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the dream. Like, when you wake up, it's like, I have to now, because this is nature. And I don't know. I thought my head was going to explode or something if I don't, or I was going to flip out on someone, or, it's just not true. It's just, so recognizing that freedom that I have, where, yes, I can have that. And sure, if I sit there and I go, oh, let me try to remember how that dream went. I don't know where that's going to lead me, but I don't do that. And that's like I have a new path.
Yeah.
That is it. God has created that new path of, the old one was, had the dream, I'm sinning today. Probably, absolutely I'm sinning, not my fault, not my problem. To now that path is like, oh yeah, I know if I dwell on this, I might start looking at that other path that's, all covered up now, and I want to leave it that way. And that's probably a good visual for me as far as like the pathways.
Yeah.
When I look over and I say, oh, that path is gone, I know I could start cutting through it and creating it again, but I go, why would I do that? And over here I go, man, I got freedom. I'm living in this, and I move, and it doesn't have that effect on me anymore. So I will say that there are triggers still, but it's not even like I have to sit there and really fight like I used to. It's more like, I know I don't want this. I know this is not good for me. And you want to know what? Like, I honestly probably would beat myself up really badly if I fell. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Whether it's right or wrong, or anyone goes, hey, if you fall, you got to give yourself credit. I don't want to be there.
Right.
I don't want to mess up this relationship. That I don't. So I just want to say there's hope for anyone who's like, I've been trying for years and years and years, and it's impossible. I promise you that it's not.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for sharing. That is like the journey and a lot of raw emotion and years of probably a lot of setbacks and failures, but also just diving into the hard stuff and pursuing it. And now you can, like you said, you can look, this path is different and it's better. and that other path is clear, is like it's covered up, and it took a lot of things to cover it up. So we talked about understanding how you're wired and triggers and accountability and spending time with the Lord and just kind of continuing to go back to that. So it took a long time to cover that path, right? And all those, whether blocks, sticks, however I don't know what this visual looks like, but like you have cleared a different path now and you're walking on it. And I think that kind of hope is it. You're not saying that if you're listening and you're in that spot, it's not okay. I'm gonna wake up at 8:00 tomorrow. Maybe it's earlier, right? Because that's not very early. But what would you say to guys? Because everyone might have a different journey. Like, what is it for them? Like, what, again, knowing that you can't give a universal, this is gonna be the thing for every guy. What would you say?
Okay, so the one thing I would say is, and I'm gonna be transparent to a degree, just because I want to be able to give the most help possible, and I want to give credit to God for what I'm about to say. So without going into detail, I'm in a crisis in my life right now. I'm walking through something very difficult. I would never have been able to make it through a crisis without going back to this thing that brings me that, break from it. I mean these words with all my heart. In one of the most difficult times in my life, I have more peace and more joy than I have ever had. And there's only one place that comes from. That's nothing I'm doing other than obedience. Yeah. So the Bible talks about there is a reward for those who seek Christ. And my reward, and I think everybody's, is just let me be in your presence. I need nothing else. Nothing else. And I'm, experiencing that. I think that's the true test for me. I go, I'm in a crisis where most guys would go, dude, give yourself a break. And I'm like, no. The reason I have this joy and this peace, first of all, it fulfills everything. God in me fulfills everything. There's nothing that comes close to it. I don't want anything messing with that. And I just feel like walking through this, it would be so easy to say, hey, alcohol is another thing I decided to cut a couple of years ago. Wasn't really abusive, maybe a little borderline. Like I was like, there's a couple more bottles in the recycle bin, but nothing, like I wasn't an alcoholic. But through that walk and through the morning times and through my walks in the park, which I take, 3 or 4 times a week of solitude and meditation, I felt God say, hey, I want you to lay alcohol down. I was like, well, I don't have a problem with it. But I felt in a very loving way. It's like, yeah, but listen, when do you usually drink? And what's your mindset when you drink? And I started realizing, it's still going for some kind of little break, some type of little break from reality. And he's like, yeah, right. But I just want you to come to me for that. So I was like, well, that makes perfect sense. I'm not even going to fight you on this. Let's do it. And, it was a little difficult because I had like a couple weddings and different things like that. But holy cow, God moves when you're obedient. So how it looks is that first moment of, all right, I'm going to do what you ask. God meets us. And as we continue to do those things, I feel he, in a loving way, according to his pace, he says, hey, let's add this in. Let's add this in. And I take an inventory of my time, and I go, hey, look, if I got 2 hours to watch TV, an hour I could be doing something, taking a walk or reading a book or reading the Bible or praying or serving or whatever God's putting in my heart. So when you have this relationship, we talk about abiding, right? Abiding in him. That's not like, Jesus, I accept you as my personal savior. Now do it all for me. And I'm not, I love you, and I'll tell anybody I love you, and I do. But does it does it show by your fruits? Just not what other people think of you. Are you hearing him speak? And is there transformation in your life? And when you start to experience those things, those become addictive. That becomes like, wait, hold on. The creator of the universe wants to have a relationship with me. no, I want to go look at porn.
It just doesn't even compare, right? It's
But
ridiculous.
when you're in it, you
Yeah.
can't see
Yeah.
that. I totally
Yeah.
get that. Because that does become your idol, and that does become, you can control it. And that was another problem in my life. It's like, I liked having control. Like I said, entrepreneur, that's a great thing. But in other areas of your life, it might not be a great thing. So I finally hit a point where I was just like, I look at what I've done when I was in control, and it's crap. It really is. And I give God this amount of time, and this is what he gives me in return. That's what I'm done. I just know on my own the results are horrible. And they hurt other people. I didn't even get into that. I mean, they're hurting other people. So connection to God, this admit where you're at. You know what? I've prayed a prayer. I struggled with gambling. Okay, I'm really letting all my dirty laundry out. But hey, look, that was one thing that God took from me overnight. That was the one thing I couldn't believe. But I prayed this prayer the night before. I said, hey, God, I'll be honest, I do not want to stop this. But I know you want me to stop this. So help me to want to stop this. And if that's the prayer you have to pray for pornography, it's totally fine. He knows anyway.
Right.
So don't pray that you want to stop and you're thinking, I really don't. Or I don't really want to stop sleeping around. I don't. This girl is fulfilling what I need. Oh, my goodness. No, she's not. So
wait, you're saying that God can handle the honesty and the authenticity, even if it's not the right answer.
imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that he wants a genuine relationship.
There's a freedom. How do you feel when you were able to kind of even share that? I mean, because most guys would go, I can't tell God these things. I can't ask him hard questions. I can't tell him I'm not ready.
Yep.
Can't tell him I'm not going to obey. I mean, you've said already, you've had some very brash conversations with the Lord, and you're here, so you weren't struck down.
Yeah.
But I mean, can we do that?
I think anything else is you're fooling yourself. I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday and said, hey, look, go, before you go home from work, just go and take a walk and pray and tell God what you're telling me. And I can't repeat what he told me, but I mean, it was hard to hear about thoughts he had about somebody in his life. And he goes, you really want me to tell God that I feel that way? I said, yes. Yes, I do. Because he knows anyway. And I really believe admitting that is the first part in the healing process. And like I like what you said about you couldn't write out the word masturbation. You had to do the initials. Like, don't do the initials. Tell God what it is. Yeah. Tell him. And just say, hey, look, I do feel this way, but I don't want to feel this way. Can you help me? I believe he is like, yes, finally, this is what I've been waiting for. I know it to be true.
Thanks for listening to the Men of Iron podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. At Men of Iron, we exist to change a culture one man at a time, and we'd love to have you partner with us. So go to menofiron.org to see how you can get involved, or donate at menofiron.org/donate.